Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hi, welcome to checking out the YouTube version of Cinematic Autopsy. We've noticed a lot of you are watching and have not subscribed.
Yeah.
So,
please subscribe.
Yeah, before we begin, it would be wonderful if you guys could click on that little link right there. Right, see where I'm pointing right there. And you'll notice that if you scroll down, you'll see subscribe. So subscribe to us, CL Squared Productions. You'll be able to see our videos, stuff.
We have lots of cool content for you guys. You'll know everything that we're up to in the film world, whether we're talking about it or doing it.
Exactly. So let's give you 5 seconds to subscribe. All right, everyone. Hey everyone, look who it is. We're back.
Are we?
Yes, we're back.
We are here. Hello, we are here. I wish I didn't choose a blazer. I'm sweating now.
Well, you're in a blue blazer now.
Yes, the blue blazer.
Yes, in tribute to the late Owen Hart, Chelsea has decided to
I don't know who that was until right now.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and hello, look, we have a special guest.
Yes, so we have two. Oh, Gurka, do you want to come up too? I do. Can you hold this dog for a moment, please?
Sure. Hello.
Come on, other dog. Oh, Gert. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, my. You gotta help me, kid.
Aw.
There we go. All right. Yeah, you can come to mom now.
There you go. So, anyway, people,
Hi,
welcome
guys.
to the Cinematic Autopsy podcast.
That's Charles D. Lincoln. And I'm Chelsea LeSage.
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 Yes.
Yes, LeSage.
Yeah, LeSage. I'm not even going to comment on that. So, hello.
We are here. Apologies for the delay. I've been traveling for work. Are you jealous? I bet you are.
Yes.
Tough shit. Yeah, and I had a birthday, and it was fun without you.
Wow. Let's not insult the thousands and thousands of fans.
Oh yes, all the fans. Thank you.
And let's also thank the ones of those who contributed to Bishop's Cove.
Yes.
Thank you for contributing to that, and so keep looking out for that.
Your hair looks good like that. I feel like I say that every time you wear your hair like that.
Yeah, every time I do, you compliment me on that.
Yeah, why don't you wear your hair like that all the time?
Because I don't like wearing my hair like this, but it was very frizzy today, so this was my way of dealing with it. So
we dissect movies here.
Yes, yes, and this week we're starting. Wow, it's so weird to not be doing Carrie.
I know. No, I miss it.
Yes, but so this week we're going to do a film starring Oscar-nominated actor Brad Dourif. Child's Play. It's actually one of my favorite series, the Child's Play series. And I think there are, 6 sequels or something like that. Oh, let's see. Child's Play 2, Child's Play 3, Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky, Curse of Chucky. I haven't been counting. Oh, okay.
That's 7.
Wait. There's still Cult of Chucky after that.
We keep pausing. Hopefully not in the playback.
Yeah, I'm assuming it won't be in the playback, but...
we shall see.
That's also why we record the separate audio, too.
The separate audio.
Yeah, so... but yeah, and
I started with A Bride of Chucky. That's what
did
I started with. Yeah.
Mm.
Thanks, Mom.
Did this make things make more sense now that you've seen?
I mean, sure, yes, yes, it did. I don't know how, but sure, it did.
Yeah. So, it's a 1988 film, directed by. Number one, I have to say the most amazing thing about the film is that it was directed by someone who was not going to be born for 8 years.
What?
Yes, it was directed by Tom Holland of Spider-Man.
Oh, yes, I wrote Tom Holland film.
yes, directed by Tom Holland. As we all know, Tom Holland is Spider-Man.
Yes.
Because obviously there is no other person with that name.
I just kept imagining him as because if you've listened to our earlier episodes, what was it, the Impossible or whatever the fuck it was, the disaster movie with Naomi Watts that we covered that he's a kid in. I imagined him like that, dressed in just shorts covered in lacerations from this hurricane, directing this movie.
See, I like to think that it's Tom Holland, but there's another kid that he's standing on. And it's little kid Tom Holland, and he's in a trench coat, and there's another little kid that he's standing on.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And then they rob a bank.
Yes. Actually, funny thing about this is, for those of you who are not involved in the film industry, there's a thing called IMDb.
Yes.
And if you look it up, the director, Tom Holland, of this film is Tom Holland 1. The actor, Tom Holland, is Tom Holland 10.
Tom Holland 10.
Yes, he is Tom Holland 10 on IMDb.
That's crazy. Yeah, because there's like a SAG-AFTRA law where like they make you change your name if you have the same name as someone who already claimed it on IMDb.
Yeah. Here's my question about that. Does that also apply to the DGA?
Not sure.
Because I'm wondering if Tom Holland, the actor, ever actually decided to direct a film.
Yeah.
Could he direct it under his name? Because there's already a Tom Holland in the DGA who directed this.
Not in the DGA yet, so...
Yeah.
Something to ask. Excuse you. Like, you can be a part of the party, but you can't run the party.
I am the party mom.
I am party. No, I mean, like, probably, but I don't actually know.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to find out.
Yeah.
Like, if Tom Holland would actually even be allowed to call himself Tom Holland if he directed a film.
Yeah, I'm taking this off right now. I'm sorry, Mr. Hart. I know. I didn't even put a bra on. Oh, well. You're welcome, people.
Yeah, this is our attempt to get more views. She's going to get on a trampoline in a second.
Yes, with my ACL, it's a great idea.
Yeah.
People keep forgetting that I'm still injured, guys.
So...
Oh, much better.
What are you advertising?
McGillicuddy's, which is a bar and restaurant in New Paltz, New York. Yes, my grandfather used to call me Chelsea McGillicuddy. So when I was on set in New Paltz, and I was like, McGillicuddy's, and everyone thought I was crazy, because I am. Oh, now you don't want to be a part of the party. Okay, Peanut.
Okay.
I've been shunned. Yes. So Tom Holland directed this movie.
Yeah. And it is, it's not the first killer doll movie by any means at all.
And what came before this?
There was a thing with a killer voodoo doll there was an anthology film in the 70s called Trilogy of Terror.
Oh, cool.
And, and that one had, I know it starred Karen Black. I don't remember the title of that short film. For those unaware, the anthology films are basically like a collection of short films.
Yes.
But that was the one that kind of got everybody on the killer doll thing. But yeah, it's obviously the most famous one. I mean, we have Megan now. We have who's the one from the series that I haven't watched?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The Conjuring.
Oh, The Conjuring?
City,
Annabelle.
Okay, yeah. We've got that. We've got Annabelle.
But Annabelle was real.
So we've got, it's become its own genre now. But when this kind of came out, it was kind of an interesting idea. The original idea Don Mancini came up with was also weird because it was like a doll that was like powered by blood or something like that. And
that's me.
And everyone was just like, no one would buy a doll that you have to give blood to, so we have to change the script. Lightyear. Yeah, that's why Lightyear didn't do well
I saw this meme today. Speaking of Toy Story, that like if you look in the original Toy Story, when like Andy has his like friends come over when he first gets Buzz Lightyear in the first movie. Mm-hmm. If you look down, there's this one shot that like Mr. Potato Head or Woody, I forget who, was like looking through the binocular toy.
Yeah.
At all the kids coming down from the front door, and it's a shot from upstairs to downstairs, and all of the kids are Andy dressed in different clothes. I just saw that meme today, and I was like, no!
That sounds like madness, actually.
My life is ruined. Yes.
I know they actually just announced Toy Story 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, like, they've all been really good.
I have not seen any of them past one. I've only seen the first one.
They've all been great.
Yeah. Yeah, so...
Just like Bride of Chucky.
Yeah, but you know what? I really like Bride of Chucky. I like all of them. Oh, man, I forgot Seed of Chucky, didn't I?
Seed of Chucky, and then what's the one with Aubrey Plaza, too?
That's the remake. That's next week's movie.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that one, which has nothing to do with this one. And we'll go into it more next week, but I'll say I like that one, but I feel it shouldn't have been called Child's Play. Yeah. I think that they did a real disservice to that film by trying to tie it into the IP.
Yeah.
Because, the fact that Don Mancini is still making Chucky films, mm-hmm. and they're rebooting it while he still has stuff happening.
Yeah, that's not very nice.
And also, that's the thing. It's like it was bad on a bunch of levels, calling it Child's Play. Because, number one, you have fans of the original series who are already predisposed not to watch a remake. Mm-hmm. And then the fact that they're still making the original fucking series, which now is disrespectful to it. You could have called that movie Buddy or something like that, and it would have...
buttholes.
Well, I mean, I think people would have been very disappointed that there was a lack of anuses in the film.
There were a severe lack of anuses. I'm disappointed. That's why they should have done it.
You are my butthole, my only ass. Yeah. I actually know the song because I have it on my phone.
Do you really?
Yes.
It's not surprising. He had me I was going to bed last night, right? And he had he was like, listen to the Macarena. I was like, Charles!
It wasn't even the Macarena though. It was like the Macarena with like the vocals of a Disturbed song over it.
Yeah, no. So when I woke up this morning too, I was like, Macarena.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
Remind me of the Macarena afterwards. Oh, there's a story I can't tell on the air about that.
Yes. Tom Holland has everything to do with this story he can't say on air.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, it was just kind of funny. Like, as soon as I saw the director was named Tom Holland, I looked up, okay, Spider-Man Tom Holland, when was he born? And I'm like, oh, Jesus, this is even funnier. Like, wasn't born till 1996.
I know, he's a baby.
Like, Jesus fucking Christ. I was playing shows and, like, fucking having wild parties in 1996.
Yeah, no, I was 4.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You were having different kinds of parties, probably with, like, cake and candles and, and hats.
Yes.
But top hats.
Top hats,
yes. Everyone had top hats.
Pocket watches.
Yes.
The whole 9 yards.
Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. Everyone partied like it was 1899.
Yeah, I live in Wonderland.
Yes. So, anyway.
I am Wonderland.
Happy unbirthday.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Same to you.
Yes. There we go. So, anyway. So, she had a birthday on the 18th.
The 16th.
Yeah. That's what I said.
And, you very well could have.
And mine is March 6th. So
March 8th.
Yes, exactly. Exactly what you just said, March 6th. So, but yeah, so let's get to the playing children.
Did your brain just die?
My brain went to a place of like, oh, I can't say that. My brain went to like the old school Sarah Silverman level joke, and I was wait,
no,
yeah,
Charles.
Yeah, I've been showing her old school Sarah Silverman, and it's just like, she's so, like, what's so funny about her is how just ridiculously offensive all of, like, the stuff she would say and do back then was.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we can't, I was just gonna, like, quote a bunch of things.
Yeah, exactly. I'll just say, if you want an example of it, watch Jesus is Magic, and we'll leave it at that.
That was exactly what I was gonna, we love you, Sarah Silverman.
Yeah, Sarah Silverman's one of my favorite comedians, but yeah. I love her stuff now, but when she was like I can't even say young because she was like in her like late 30s then, but it was still like.
Oh really?
Yeah.
She looks like she's like my age now.
Yeah, no, she's very well preserved, but she was on.
She's very well preserved.
She was at like Saturday Night Live in her 20s in like the 90s.
Oh.
Yeah, she's been around for a while. She used to talk about how they didn't. I think they said they only used one skit she wrote the whole time.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, and they basically just made her like a background character for like 1 year of Saturday Night Live.
It makes me sad.
So,
are you guys comfortable? Because this is like not great for me.
But yeah, like Saturday Night Live is just this history of like really funny people going on the show, and they're just like, let's just have you in the back because Lorne Michaels isn't amused by you.
Wow, Lauren. We love you, Lauren. We're funny. We could be on SNL.
I was going to say that's probably why we wouldn't be. Anyway, so let's go on. Burning all the bridges.
Yes. No. I'm down.
I totally would be too, but I'm saying they wouldn't use any of our shit.
Oh, well, God, no.
Yeah, exactly. We'd write shit, and every week it'd be like, nope, Lauren doesn't like it.
I would be like, Lauren's gonna throw you at Bellevue.
Yeah, I'll you know what, Lorne Michaels, I'll greatly take that paycheck so we can just be in the background and
for sure,
and be like, yeah, like that's our like line or whatever.
Yeah,
like, that's like the level of shit Sarah Silverman was doing when she was on Saturday Night Live.
It makes me sad.
Yeah.
Well, also because we were talking about Child's Play and Aubrey Plaza, congrats on you just finally getting to host SNL. You were brilliant.
she was also someone who she didn't get it. They rejected her when she auditioned.
Yeah, no, she was in the, there was that whole, like, her whole opening sequence. She was, like, a greeter and, like, gave people tours. And she, like, did you see that? She did, like, the whole, like, went through the whole backstage, and it was really cute.
Yeah.
She killed it.
Yeah.
So, Child's Play.
Yes. So, we're going to go back to 1988.
Yes.
And let's start with, as I said, one of the first people we see is Oscar-nominated actor Brad Dourif.
Is that Tommy Wiseau?
No.
I kept writing the guy, because the guy at first looked like Tommy Wiseau.
Look like Tommy Wiseau.
I just kept writing Tommy Wiseau. Maybe it's a different dude.
Maybe Brad Dourif, if you were to, like, fucking drain all moisture out of him and just make him like a desiccated shell, he would look like Tommy Wiseau.
No, I wrote Tommy Wiseau got shot in the knee. That's what I wrote.
It's also interesting, by the way, how many movies we've actually done with Brad Dourif in them, but he's always been like just a minor character.
Really?
Like when we saw Blue Velvet, he's in that, but he only has like 2 lines.
Oh.
Yeah, he's in a lot of films that we've talked about. In fact, the cop who shoots him has also been in one of our earlier films. Chris Sarandon. The ex-husband of Susan Sarandon was the detective in this film.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I'm like, wasn't ready for like learn. And I watched this movie at like 2:00 in the morning, so like my notes are gonna be hilarious.
Yeah. So it was like our second Chris Sarandon film, and probably like our 5th or 6th Brad Dourif film.
Wow. Mm-hmm. I wasn't ready to learn things.
Yep. So, yeah, by the way, he was not nominated for Child's Play. He was nominated for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah, but this movie actually won Best Picture that year.
Now I have to find out what actually won in 1988. Cover the beginning. I will...
Well, I just keep writing about Tommy Wiseau.
Well, call him Charles Lee Ray, because that's the name of the character.
Oh, shit, that is Charles Lee Ray.
Yes.
Okay, so Tommy Wiseau, he gets shot. No, what do I have?
It lost to the last emperor.
I've never even heard of that.
It was Tom Cruise going to Japan and basically just being like the big white savior for all the Japanese people.
Shame on you.
You know.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like he goes there and like he teaches all the samurai how to fight or some shit like that.
Yeah, because that makes sense.
It's Tom Cruise.
Okay, Gertrude. My dog is not overweight. Well, there's a close-up of Chucky. I have that.
Yeah.
I wrote Tommy Wiseau's name is Charles Lee Ray. See, I was paying attention. Aren't you proud of me?
Yes.
So there's a close-up of Chucky. Whoo, you stink. And then I wrote Tommy gets shot. So I didn't let Charles Lee Ray stick at all.
Yeah, well, that's why he's Chucky, because he's Charles.
I know.
Yes.
No, it's really just Charles D. Lincoln.
Wow.
The doll.
That was my nickname in high school, was Chucky, because of my hair, because that's my real hair color. It's the same.
Yeah, he's a redhead.
The same color as Chucky's.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you guys okay?
Yeah. So Mike. So we have the police officer.
Chris Sarandon.
Yeah, saying that he's detective something or other, Mike, whatever. But he says he's got the strangler. So we see a man being chased down the street. It is Brad Dourif, Oscar-nominated actor Brad Dourif. And we know him in, if you've watched any of the Child's Play movies, you know him as Charles Lee Ray, a.k.a. Chucky. He gets shot.
Now, good shot.
Here's the thing. He has a getaway driver named Eddie.
Yes.
What serial killer has a getaway driver?
I mean, like one that has a cult, maybe? Where their followers would do that?
But that's not until he actually becomes the doll. That was one of the things I was like, he's supposed to be a serial killer, and he's got like a fucking accomplice who drives him away places? That doesn't seem like serial killer would have one of those.
Well, no, that's like something that Manson would have or something like that.
But Manson wasn't a serial killer, was the thing.
True.
Exactly.
What about... Now I have to Google this shit. Not right now. Gert, can I put you down? You really smell, sweetheart.
And here's also the thing, and it's... Ah, my God, it bit my tongue. Here's one of the things that I do complain about in this movie and a lot of movies. The lighting in this film was basically just, let's blast everything with as much light as possible. There's no shadows in this film.
No, everything is very, very overexposed.
Like, it is, it's supposed to be like exteriors in Chicago.
Yeah.
Like, in like the worst neighborhoods ever. And it's so brightly lit. It's like fucking Times Square at Christmas time. Like,
no, this is very much like, I was like, wow, the South Side never looked so good. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, stinky Gert. Why didn't you warn me? Yes, where are we? So
so he finds himself trying to escape and he goes to the toy store.
Yes. Oh, the toy store. And what did this remind me of? Wasn't there another movie that we covered where they were in a toy store for a very long time?
Yes, it was the second movie we ever covered. It was Invasion USA.
That's the only thing I remember about that movie. It's so interesting. I was thinking about it too, this morning. I was like, I have a really great memory for memorizing things, but I was going back through our list of things. I was like, I don't remember anything about it. It's so sad. Yeah, so he finds a toy store, and I wrote doll moving Chucky airless. What does that mean?
You skipped a whole scene, actually.
Okay,
yeah,
awesome, cool. So please fill me in. Great.
Yeah. Well, so what happens is, he's saying that he has to find someone. We don't know what he's supposed to find yet, but Chris Sarandon's looking for him. His getaway driver just escaped. He's in there, and he hides behind a whole wall of good guy dolls, which is the kind of Cabbage Patch, type of thing like that. And also, it's very interesting that the opening credits are happening during the big action sequence. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Yeah.
Because usually they have the opening credits at a point where you could pay attention to them and read them. And this is if you start reading the opening credits, you're just going to miss one of the most pivotal scenes in the whole film.
Right.
So it's interesting that they did it. I wonder if that's because of them cutting a half an hour out of this film.
Yeah, I remember you told me that. It was what?
Yeah. So basically, Charles Lee Ray realizes he's dying, he's bleeding, and he says that he's going to get the cop for it. I'm going to get you and I'm going to get Eddie no matter what. So, excuse me.
Bless you.
He kind of falls, and then the good guy dolls all fall on him.
Right.
And so he kind of smiles, he laughs, he opens one of the boxes, and then he starts chanting. Which anyone who's watched, the Child's Play series will know the whole Dembala, I beg of thee, give me the power, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I was like, what is this?
It's a chant that's in, almost every single Child's Play movie. And, if in the series, it's said, 5 or 6 times.
When did the series happen?
Series is on season 2 right now. Season 3 is coming out around Halloween, apparently.
What is that on?
It's on Sci-Fi, but it's also on Peacock.
No way.
Yeah, it's on Peacock. And I love it, actually, but it's one of the things where it's you have to know the entire lore of Child's Play to get it, because it just jumps right in, with all 7 of the fucking movies being canon. I mean, to the point where, one of the characters who showed up at the end of the first season at the beginning of the first season was Andy. In his 40s now.
From Toy Story.
No, well, yes, that would be really funny. Not even Andy from this movie, but Andy from Toy Story. Yes, but no, Andy from this movie, and he's all a grown man now who's been hunting Chucky for the last 30 years.
Well, that's fun.
And he's joined by his adopted sister from part 2, who's also played by the same actress who played her.
That's really cool, though.
It is. That they got them as, children and now, as adults, and they're, middle-aged.
And they weren't completely, ruined by, childhood stardom.
Yeah. Well, they never get the person from part 3 who, played, Andy when he was 16, but...
Oh.
But we'll get into that later. But yeah, so he does the chant, and then there's a big explosion, which is really funny, because... that was the thing that really stuck out to me. The big explosion and the clouds. Yeah, because that doesn't happen in any of the later films.
Yeah.
In fact, at one point in the series, Chucky literally switches his body in a way that no one even knows he did it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And if they had all the special effects from the first film, everyone would be like, oh, well, there was a big giant explosion in that room. Obviously, Chucky switched his body. We can't trust that person.
Right.
But
now you're just expected to know.
Yeah, and now, but the fact that there's none of that happening, and Chucky is able to do it in a room where there's no, crazy pyrotechnics.
Yeah, that's wild.
It's kind of funny that they, just got rid of that big thing in their canon.
It breaks through it breaks through the skylight in the toy store too. And you notice how at the end too, the skylight's back intact.
No, I was gonna say no. It's a completely different building. That was actually the thing I wrote. Is why does every building have a fucking skylight in Chicago in this movie? Because that's a completely different building that also has a skylight.
Oh, well, it's a fairly normal thing in suburban malls.
Yeah, but this isn't even. It's not the suburbs. It's Chicago.
Yeah.
It's the city of Chicago, and I've only been there once, but I did not see one skylight when I was in Chicago.
Yes. I don't think I have either, actually,
Yeah.
unless it was like in a hotel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So,
Well, shit.
Yeah. So, anyway, it's, the lightning happens, there's big explosion. That's the other thing, like, there's an explosion that destroys the entire fucking toy store.
Yeah.
Which, once again, doesn't happen in later films in the series when he switches bodies.
Right. So if you're trying to keep it canon, I guess it's like a huge fucking like fuck up, right? Maybe they just didn't have the money.
I don't know if canon wise it's like, well, that's the first time that the series has some pretty elaborate deaths in it, so they could probably afford to have the explosions if they wanted to.
I want elaborate deaths. That sounds fun.
Without spoiling it, I think I'll just say, from anyone who's seen the series, my favorite thing has to be in season 2 when Chucky gets a chainsaw and kills someone with it, and it's like, where have you been my whole life? I've never killed anyone with this before. I should have been killing everyone with one of these, which is amazing.
Highly recommend it.
Yes. So, anyway, so massive explosion, Charles Lee Ray is dead, and we focus on the good guy doll. We now cut to a living room, and there's a fully animated good guy, like, TV series or something, and Andy, the little kid, is even dressed like a good guy doll.
Yes, he is. I wrote, he has cereal and a toaster, and he's dressed as Chucky.
Yeah.
Chelsea, this is great. He's watching like a good guy type show. The mascot calls Chucky doll Oscar, right? Mm-hmm. What was that about?
Because every good guy doll is a different name.
Oh, yes, duh.
Yeah, every good guy. So the one on TV was named Oscar.
Okay.
But if you were to buy a different one, it would be named, like the one in the second one is named Tommy. But it's Chucky who goes into it.
Okay.
But to, like, throw them off, it's like, hi, I'm Tommy. And then when it reveals to Andy when no one else is there, it goes, my name is Chucky. Want to play?
And so it's always Charles Lee Ray.
Yeah.
So he lives forever. What's your secret?
Being in a doll?
Being in a doll.
that's really
so
simple.
Yes.
Really simple secret. Jump into a fucking doll.
So he burns his toast and he, rushes to make breakfast for someone who's obviously not himself. And his mommy really makes me sad.
Really? Do tell.
I don't know. I just felt bad for her.
Yeah.
What was it?
She's like this middle-aged single mom, and
I just didn't think she was depressing.
Yeah.
I felt bad for the kid.
Who works in whatever the Chicago equivalent of Macy's is, and
oh yeah, that department store just made me want to die. No. If any of you work in a department store, please tell me what's good about it. Because I'm with you.
I should ask. I actually have a friend who literally every year works at Macy's. She's been doing it for 10 years. Yeah,
for Christmas?
She does that as an elf, but she also works behind the counter before that, but it's seasonal. It's after Christmas they work for behind the counter for a month or two.
What?
I think it's a month, right up until return season.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But she's been doing it for 10 years.
Damn. I remember I saw a casting call once, for the elves in Macy's when I first moved to New York, and I was like, that'd be a really cool Chelsea, you're 5'11".
The elf is taller than Santa.
Yes.
Also, when Andy makes breakfast in bed for his mom, he uses way more butter than any human being has probably ever used.
Just enough butter. It's hardly enough.
I don't think there's even enough. I don't think there's that much butter if you were to fucking just take 4 sticks of it.
It was a lot of butter, but I was I'm here for this.
Yeah.
It was cute.
Yeah, and there's a wrapped present that he smiles at. And by the way, it's only 6:30 a.m. and this super popular show is on.
Do you think maybe it's reruns?
Maybe. He does complain that he's seen it already, but
yeah.
I'm trying to think of the 80s. Did they do that? When I was a little kid,
they had Saturday morning cartoons and stuff.
Saturday morning cartoons, and they used to have blocks of cartoons all day, but the stuff at 6:30 would be anime, or Voltron, fucking old school Voltron or stuff like that, or Scooby Doo would be at 6:30 in the morning.
Yes, that happened while I was a kid too.
Yeah, so it wasn't the new cartoons they would save for 3, the new Ghostbusters and stuff like that. They'd save for the real Ghostbusters. Sorry, they would save for 3 and 3:30 when kids would be home from school. Oh. So I would think a super popular show like Good Guys. would be at like during like the school, like 3 p.m. and not 6:30. So I thought that was weird. But interesting note about this film, by the way, the producer Don Mancini, who everyone knows is like the guy who's been writing Child's Play like consistently, was not allowed on set.
You said that, right? You told me that.
Yeah, because the writer's strike was happening. And because he wrote the script as well, he wasn't allowed on set, even though he was also the producer.
Was he participating in the writer's strike, or that was just...
He had to... You can't, like, cross the line on that.
You can't choose.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so, I mean, because of him being the writer, he was not allowed on the set that he was the producer for.
Did they, like... Wait, Zoom didn't exist, Chelsea.
Yeah.
I'm like, did he zoom in all the time?
Yeah, no, apparently he had very little input on the first film.
Damn.
The only thing he did was he made the first he like supervised the first cut, but even then he didn't have final cut on it. That's
because of the writer's strike, or because he just
I don't know what his deal was, but he didn't want the half-hour cut. He didn't want to cut, but the studio insisted on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Which happens.
Yeah. Also interesting, by the way, the voice of Chucky originally was not Brad Dourif, who plays Charles Lee Ray. Originally, it was actually someone that you would know from Arrested Development, Jessica Walter.
What?
The mom on Arrested Development.
That's amazing.
Yeah, she was. There's no recordings of it. I've looked on YouTube. No one has any recordings of it. Of what she sounded like as Chucky, but apparently the studio wanted her as Chucky. The first cut is her doing the voice. And then Don Mancini, I think, didn't like it. And so he was like, can we just get Brad to do the voice? Since Brad is Charles Lee Ray anyway.
I'm gonna quote literally a meme, like a really famous meme that is her character, when she's just like, good for her.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, she got the paycheck for doing the voiceover, and even though no one's ever heard it except the test audience.
That's so cool.
Because that was the thing Don Mancini says when he talks about how the test audience didn't like the extra half hour, and he's like, well, I write it off to Jessica not fitting the character properly.
And he probably would have been able to, stop that further on, or like earlier on, excuse me, if he were allowed on set.
Yeah.
You're getting down, you too hot poo, here you go.
Yeah.
She's mad about Jessica not voicing.
I mean, I love fucking Jessica. I like her in Arrested Development, but in Archer, I think she's even better. But like, and it's so sad that we lost her. But like, I cannot imagine what she sounded like as Chucky. I'm sure it was not her regular just voice that we're used to. Yeah, I'm sure it was not that voice. So suddenly Charles Lee Ray sounds like a very like upper class, like, mean woman. Like,
she's a mean woman.
Yes. But
for it.
But yeah. So anyway,
like, where were we?
Yeah. The mom lies to him and says that his meal looks excellent.
Oh.
And that she'll eat it a little later.
Oh, God. Yeah. No, that's good for parents.
Yeah.
I feel like this is terrible.
Yeah. And
no, I wouldn't.
He asks if he can open his presents now. The news is talking about the Lakeshore Strangler, who is Charles Lee Ray. And he wants to open the big present immediately, only to discover it's closed, which is the most disappointing disappointing president since Donald Trump. It's the most, just a pile of clothes.
No, that's just insulting to clothes everywhere.
Yeah, no, honestly, like as a little boy, that was the worst gift you could possibly
socks,
get.
underwear.
Yeah, like I hated any time I ever got clothes as a present.
Oh yeah.
My cousins did that to me once as a fake out on one of my birthdays when I was like 6 or 7, and then it was like, okay, here's your real stuff, and it was all like Star Wars stuff, but. At first, it was like a big box of clothes, and I was like, oh.
See, I was always just taught to be like, just say thank you, Chelsea.
Yeah, come on, you know me enough to know that I was probably like a fucking brat as a kid.
You blocked it all out.
Yeah, and I was just like, I was the one who, like, I remember my dad once telling me, and I think I might have said this on the air before, but my dad said that he wanted me to be successful when I was old, when I grew up, so that I could take care of him when he got older. And I was like 9 years old. And I remember I said to him, no, your insurance will pay for the nursing home. Of course, That you could tell I was a little kid because I had no idea that being in the porn industry, my dad had no insurance. So, but the innocence of a child.
Yeah. That's not innocence, bro. It's not.
But the look of my father's face was amazing when I said that, by the way.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, and see, the one thing I was always taught was to read the card and try to be appreciative of the card.
Yes.
Because Andy just tosses the fucking card.
No, he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a fuck. I always feel bad, too, because, oftentimes I just won't get people a card. And, my mom gets me, even, I turned fucking 31 the other day, and my mom's card to me was, this, Little Mermaid, happy 7th birthday card, cute. Or she gets me, some funny shit. But my father has always gotten a very serious, very sweet, loving poem card. And I'm like... oh, fuck. And then for his birthday, I always just get him something silly, and I can always tell he's a little disappointed.
Yeah. See, you actually wrote me some really nice cards over the years, and I've saved those. So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
I wrote nice cards?
Yes.
That doesn't sound like me at all. Are you sure I didn't hire someone to
No, especially when we first met. You would send me, these really, glowing cards, and I was always, very touched by them.
Aw.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know I had a soul anymore.
Yeah, so, she gets him, this... good guy thing. I don't even know what it fucking is, a play set or something, but without the doll to go with it, it's a little bench for a doll or something like that.
Yeah, it was a little strange.
With a little swing with what he obviously can't fit into, and so that was weird. So this mom's name is Karen, which is very funny.
Hilarious.
Very funny to say in 2023.
Yes.
And she finds out that there's a peddler in the alley behind the store with a good guy doll.
Yeah, because they're best friends or whatever. Best friend knows about this fucking peddler.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious.
Honestly, I kind of hated her best friend.
Did she die? I forget.
She's the first person to die.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Well, outside of Charles Lee Ray, but
right.
I'm just so a random hobo is just selling a doll outside, and the fucking friend wants to haggle with him. Sorry.
Well, then also I have to think about too, this toy store has been completely destroyed for the most part, right? Mm-hmm. And the only way that this peddler could have gotten a hold of this particular doll is if he had gone into the store or the doll had walked out of the store undetected. So I'm how did this peddler wind up with the doll?
Well, what I love about it is, how do we know it isn't stolen? I'm what? You're asking a man with the hottest toy for Christmas in a shopping cart behind the mall, how do we know this isn't stolen? Of course it's fucking stolen.
Yeah, that's so silly.
That's like buying a TV from a fucking van and just being how do we know these aren't stolen?
They are.
It's they're in a fucking van of course they're stolen.
Of course they're stolen.
Yes. So it's a dude with rotted teeth, because that becomes important later.
Yes. They negotiate, and he sold it for 30? Is that what it is?
30. Originally he wanted 100. I'm sorry, he originally wanted 50. Then they haggle him down to 30.
I wonder what the cost actually was for them.
100.
100? Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So we sold it. The mom has to go to work because she has to fill in for someone. I wrote, BFF says kill, do it. What the fuck does that mean, Charles?
To basically that she'll babysit, so go do the work. I'll watch Andy.
Oh, why did I write kill?
I don't know.
Autocorrect.
Possibly.
This is great.
Yeah.
I wrote that. What's his name? Walter.
That's the boss.
I wrote Walter's a fucking asshole.
Yeah. He's like a campy boss you would expect to see in a musical or something. He's very like no one's boss actually looks like that.
Yeah.
He looks like he's in if someone putting a production of Little Shop of Horror. Like what Mr. Mushnick would look like or something is
or
what
the dentist.
No, the dentist would look like a fucking dentist, but it's, the dentist has always been my favorite character because he's just a fucking psychopath in Little Shop of Horrors.
You'd be a great dentist.
I would love to do. I know that song for fuck's sake.
Of course you do.
Yeah, you'll be a dentist. Yeah, for causing people pain.
It's okay, kids. He's not gonna cut. No, they didn't move. Never mind.
Yeah. Now spit. Anyway.
No, spit. This has become about Little Shop of Horrors. Now.
Yeah. Hi, Andy. I'm Chucky, and I'm your friend to the end. Hidey-ho.
Hidey-ho.
And,
So,
yeah.
Chucky watches the news. And I wrote, why'd you let a 4-year-old boy watch the news? And it's like really horrifying. Like, what the fucking
Do you want to know? Let's put it this way. Like, there was the news. The news has been sanitized a lot since, like, I was a kid, because I remember hearing a news story about and this always, like, it's one of those things, like, in my writing, I'm fascinated by all these horrible news stories I used to hear. The one that I remember really sticking with me was at a diner, like, 20 minutes from my house, where, like, these two guys came in, they robbed the place, but they also made everyone get naked and fuck each other, and shot a woman who refused to do it.
Wow.
And now they were, like, the full description on the news of that.
Well, I have to think about, too, as a man, like, what if you can't get hard? What are you supposed to do?
I don't know.
Die.
I don't know. I guess.
Yeah.
I guess. But yeah, like, that was their, there's been a couple cases where people have done that, actually.
That's really sad.
Yeah. There was this one home invasion, where the guys did that. It was like people having, like, a Christmas party, and they made everyone fuck, and then afterwards they basically, like, interrupted in the middle of it, tied up the men, and then, I guess once they got them ready, then they all raped the women. And then they took everybody out into the snow and shot them. And one of them only survived because the fucking snow, like, it was one of those things where, like, the bullet, like, bounced in her head.
What?
That happens sometimes, where, like, someone gets shot and it like bounces off the skull or some shit like that. And it, like, she had, like, a wound that would have been fatal, but it wasn't a brain injury. And because of the snow, it, like, basically kept her alive. So that was the only way they were able to actually get, like, a witness testifying because of that.
What the hell?
Yeah. These are all the shit that I learned when I was, like, in doing, studying criminology and that was actually funny. When I was studying criminology in college, I looked up that case from the diner because I remembered it from being a little kid.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and those guys.
That explains a lot.
Those guys only got, like, I think 15 years in jail for that.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Because their lawyer, it's not rightfully, but was able to convince the jury that, well, they didn't rape anyone. Because they weren't the ones doing it, they made everybody else do it.
But they shot them.
Yeah, well, that's why they got 15 years, but it wasn't fatal. It didn't kill the woman.
But it killed everyone else.
No, everyone survived.
Oh!
Except that's a different case. Those guys went away for life. The ones who killed the people at the Christmas party. That was everyone but one woman died. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Just like Merry Christmas, I guess. Like, Jesus. Like, that's gonna. Yeah. No. I know so many fucked up and awful cases. It's not even funny.
So yes, I can understand now, because I was gonna immediately, like, refute you and be like, the news hasn't been sanitized.
Yeah, no, that was what the news was like when I was a little kid.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, because now they would just, like, can you imagine, like, if that case happened now, it would just be like, the robbery, police are investigating possible sexual assault. And that would be the whole story.
Yeah.
But the news...
You can't even say rape on the news anymore.
Yeah, the news when I was 4 went into the whole fucking thing about, like, people being made to have sex with each other and all this sort of shit.
This is child's play, everyone.
Yes. So, yeah, they would be descriptive in the 80s about the Lakeside Strangler.
Damn.
AKA
And this 4-year-old is watching it.
Yes.
With this fucking murder doll.
And then, later grew up to hunt murder dolls. So you see what happened. It ruined his whole life watching, not the doll that killed all these people, watching the news as a kid.
For fuck's sake. Oh my god.
Yeah, so his mom's friend is eating his cake.
Oh yeah? Is that Aunt Maggie?
Yes, Aunt Maggie is eating his cake.
Yes. That's really fucked up, man.
Yeah, she sends him to bed and then just eats his birthday cake. And, like,
Did he at least get some?
I think he got, like, one piece, and then she was like, all right, great, go to bed. I've got cake to eat.
Yeah, that's messed up. Fuck you, Maggie.
Yeah.
I wrote Aunt his book. I don't know. I feel like now you're way ahead of me. Hold on.
Yeah.
Continue, and I'll find it.
Yeah, well, in the news, they say that Eddie, his accomplice, his getaway driver, has escaped from the precinct.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's when we first learned that Chucky is alive, because the head turns. Yeah, apparently in the original cut, it was a lot more ambiguous whether or not Chucky was doing these things or whether Andy was like a crazy kid.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was one of the reasons why Andy is in the good guy outfit. Because when you'd see the thing in the background, you were supposed to not know whether that was Andy or Chucky.
Oh.
Yeah.
And so these scenes were shot, they just cut them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. I wonder. There's nobody that has access to these deleted scenes or whatever.
No, it's Don Mancini said that he doesn't think they exist anymore. Remember, it was the '80s when they used to just throw away deleted scenes.
No.
Which is ridiculous. It's
ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. But yeah, apparently, like, I'm sure maybe they're in someone's garage right now. But
probably.
Probably.
That's how they all wind up, isn't it?
Yeah. Except the ones for the BBC where they just fucking burn them or put them in like fucking construction material.
Yes, as you do. You do.
So, so Andy goes to bed and Chucky is watching the news.
Yes.
And then Aunt Maggie goes, she picks up Chucky, she puts him in the bed.
I told you she'd be mad if you put on the news.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the aunt has a book. Is this where he's like running across the hallway?
Yes.
The fucking, like, I was like, what is happening?
They hired a little person for that. Little person, I think his name is Ed Gale. I wrote it on my notes, but they hired a little person to be Chucky in the out of focus background. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
There's something about the chair leg over the carpet. The aunt freaks the fuck out. Puts the chair against the door. She tries to open the door. She can't. My autocorrect went, someone got banged.
Well, that was that maybe the Child's Play porn parody or something.
What the fuck? She's in the kitchen, and there's sugar poured everywhere. And her friend calls?
Flour. There's flour.
There's flour poured everywhere.
Yeah, and then the mom calls to check in.
Yes, she does. And she gets a hatchet to her eye.
Yeah.
As you do.
Yeah. There's the POV shot of Chucky running into the living room. He sees her and makes it to the kitchen, runs behind her. He basically pushes her out the window. Defenestration, which is, at one point of the series, he explains is his favorite method of killing.
Defenestration.
That's when you push someone through a window.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's, in DC Comics, there's a character called the Defenestrator in Section 8, which is one of the comics I've said that I would love to direct.
Yeah.
Because it's just insane. It's like, I mean, there's literally a guy who is just a drunk in this team who thinks he has superpowers, but it's just because he's drunk. And one of the people in his superhero team is named the Defenestrator, and he just carries a window with him so he can throw people through it. Which is, I will tell you, not only do I love this, but my favorite thing about Section 8 is that there's a character named the Dog Welder who literally just carries dogs that he welds on people's faces. I can tell you, I did not believe this was a real thing when my old guitar player told me about this, and I was like, you are bullshitting me. None of this is real. There is not a guy, there's not the dog welder, there's not a guy with a window. None of this is real thing. And then I immediately Googled it, and I was like, son of a bitch.
People weld dogs to people. Girls, plug your ears. Plug your ears right now.
That's one of the characters in that team.
Fucked out.
But I would find a way to do it without being humane.
Yeah. It's just he uses a strap like a doggy harness, and the dog just licks their faces. Yes.
But but yeah, so anyway, it's defenestration is what it's called when you throw someone through a window.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. She gets
she lands on a truck, right?
Yep.
Yes. So the mom shows up on the scene, and she does not confirm that she lives there.
Yeah.
She's just able to go through.
By the way, in my notes, I wrote, Jesus, Chuck, you can't hold off for one night with the murder so that, I'm like, no wonder you got fucking caught when you were the Lakeside Strangler. Yeah. Like, just pretend you're the fucking doll for a night and,
He's just bad at his job. Why? I just talk like this. I just talk like Marky Mark.
There you go.
Yes.
Parking the car.
And parking the car.
And getting chowder.
Patting and chowder. Defenestration.
Yeah, so Karen comes home on the bus, sees the police.
Yes.
She has a super nice elevator, by the way.
There's a nice elevator. I wrote porn stash. I don't remember
The cop, the partner of Chris Sarandon, has the fucking porn stash, and he's the sleaziest fucking cop ever.
Oh yeah, and he doesn't wear a fucking uniform. Is that the guy who doesn't wear the uniform?
Yeah, I guess he's supposed to be plainclothes or something, but he just looks like a sleazy dude who hangs out at the police station.
Yeah, who hangs out at like kids' Christmas parties.
Yeah, like.
I hate him.
I wrote, apparently Detective Mike Norris is the only detective in all of Chicago that he is on this case, which is not related to Charles Lee Ray, at least as far as he knows.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
he's the only one who's just like bold enough to be on the south side of Chicago in the wee hours of the morning.
Yeah, because God knows Chicago doesn't have a police force. Apparently.
Yes, because no violence has ever transpired in the city of Chicago until this moment.
Yeah, and he's like super suspicious of Andy immediately.
Yeah.
And like he's just being a dick in this film.
He just says that there's an accident.
Yeah.
Miss Barclay is dead. She fell.
And
I went like, isn't the hatchet still in her eye? Like, wouldn't it still be in her eye?
I think it was a hammer, but it was still in her eye,
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, so that's an accident.
Yeah.
Because that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. And you know, Mrs. Peterson, that's Karen, right? It's just like she didn't fall through that fucking shit. She didn't say that, but
she also just chases the detectives out, and I'm like, I don't think you can do that at a crime scene.
No,
you can't just be like, all right, all of you, stop investigating my house and get out right now.
Oh, I know. Even the fact that she was even allowed in her own house, too, absolutely wild. Like you should be able to like get your own kid, but that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
So ridiculous. The 80s, everyone.
Oh my god, yeah, no, I'm looking at my notes and I'm like, the absolute sleazebag. I'm like, what the fuck? That guy's a detective?
So there's footprints, right? Is that where we are? There's some footprints in the flour, and Andy's shoes don't match. And who says Chucky wanted to know what was going on? Is that Andy who says that?
Yeah, Andy is like, his name is Charles Lee Ray, and he's been sent down by heaven by Daddy to play with me. He says Aunt Maggie was a real bitch and got what she deserved.
Now I can see, like, more so now that you said it, that, like, oh, is this kid just fucking nuts?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing, if you don't, I mean, the movie pretty much right away, you know it's Chucky, but you take that out and you just see the fucking possible thing in the background, and then he's like, Chucky says he's been sent down by heaven, and Aunt Maggie got what she deserved because she's a real bitch. You know?
That's so good.
Yeah.
Got what she deserved. Didn't say Chucky. Oh, Chucky's alive. Chucky is a doll. He's plastic and stuffing, and so he questions him, but he is alive. What is it? It's because of Maggie you're yelling, isn't it? Who says that?
Andy.
Andy. She says yes, and I write that, like, the mom is literally, like, this actress is kind of like the saving grace as far as acting goes in this movie. Like, she's just 100% in it.
Yeah.
And is just so emotional and so invested, and I'm like, it's almost as if she's in a different movie. Because she's just so fucking good. I thought who is, I don't even know who that is.
That is Catherine Hicks as Karen Barclay.
Catherine Hicks.
Yes.
What a name.
And Alex Vincent was Andy, Chris Sarandon was Mike Norris, and of course, Oscar-nominated actor Brad Dourif was Chucky.
From Chucky.
Yes.
Yeah, and he says, I'm sorry, I'll stop making up stories.
Yeah.
Which makes me sad. I'm like, you're just not believing your kid. I feel like, making horror movies, and like, as someone who's like had ghosts live in their apartment, if I had a kid who was like, Mommy, the doll did it, I would believe them.
Yeah.
I feel like, you're right, we gotta burn it. We gotta burn it.
Then Chucky would, then we just skip ahead to the climax.
Yeah, that's true.
Of you guys having to fight Chucky in the first 10 minutes of the fucking movie.
Yeah.
I'm
talking about real life, not a movie, Charles.
Yeah. Well, life is a movie.
Yes. And movies are life.
Yes. So now we go to Andy going to school, and then Andy just skips out with no one noticing at all. He just leaves.
And he
school.
walks through the homeless area at the bridge, and no one's stopping him. No one's like, I could human traffic this kid and get a shit ton of money. Like, these homeless people are bad at their jobs of probably trying to fend for their own lives. It's just this kid. The kid is not getting any repercussions. Can just do whatever he wants. When I was 4 years old, I can't imagine doing half of these things. Having
I can tell you from experience that I have no memory of. Because I'll tell this story, because fuck my mom. Apparently, when I was a little kid, and I think I was 3 or 4, I have no memory of this, so it must have been traumatic. My mom wanted to go to a bar. Now, I am one of the few native fucking New Yorkers. So, this is New York City in the fucking, when it was Taxi Driver. Wanted to go to a bar. They were like, you can't bring a little kid in here. So she had me wait outside. And apparently, I freaked out and tried to find my way home, and then the police picked me up.
Jesus.
Yeah. So the fact that I have no memory of Child Protective Services being called, and I have no memory of this, means that apparently you could just wander around the city and they're not going to call Child Protective Services on you.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Yeah, so much shit could have happened to me.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So,
if only you had a doll.
Yeah, there you go.
Doll.
If I own do.
Oh wow.
If I only had a
brain.
Oh. Yeah.
Where are we?
I'd be killing Eddie Caputo, and anyway, I can't find anything that rhymes with Eddie Caputo. I was gonna see if I could just do his Child's Play song too. If I only had a heart or brain or whatever the fuck it is. Yeah.
You're doing great, Charles.
There you go. So he goes to Eddie's. Eddie lives in this house with that's filled with rats, yet is brightly lit, like everything else in this fucking movie.
Yeah, I can't find this my note thing.
And then Andy also takes an hour and a half to pee while Chucky rushes into Eddie's.
Oh yeah, why did he take so long to fucking pee?
So that the scene could happen.
Jesus Christ, Chelsea. Oh my god. Yeah, no, I didn't even put together that it was Eddie.
Yeah.
Shame on me.
So Eddie, he fired. So Chucky goes and turns on the pilot.
Which is literally my worst nightmare. And Charles can attest. I'm like, did you check the stove?
Yes,
did you check
all the time
oven?
she asks me to check the stove.
Do you check the stove? Because
Yes.
I've been traveling so much, he's been watching my dogs and my animals, which is amazing.
Yes.
And
I'm a saint.
He is a saint, and he's never done anything wrong ever.
Yes.
And and I'm like, check the stove, because recently, within the past couple months, I came home and the stove was fucking on, and the whole place smelled like gas. It's and I get that from my mom. Thanks, mom. Terrified of the stove. So I just I think the little hairs on the back of my neck just stood up. I was like, he's turning on the stove. No, this is not going to. And he opens the oven, and I wrote squatter guy can afford a gun.
I imagine that's not where he lives. Although, actually, yes, it probably is. Because, maybe it's just their designated getaway place.
Yeah.
Because I assume that, he has a car and a gun. I would assume that he lives in a different place.
Yeah.
Because that's not where Charles Lee Ray lives. Charles Lee Ray lives in his place with his, funky voodoo, paintings all over the walls. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the place explodes. And we cut to the police station where Detective Norris says he wants Karen to go into his office.
Yes.
And this is in so many movies, police are interrogating Andy without his mother present.
Or a lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah, just really, really, I was like, this is not how this works.
Yeah.
At all. And also, the kid's just been through some traumatizing shit. He's just been, left. Let the kid get some sleep, figure it out. They just don't care about this kid's well-being.
He's begging Chucky to say something, and just makes him look crazy.
No, it does. What is it? Mom, say something, you bet. Oh, I'm skipping ahead.
Well, yeah, because then he said, he told me never to tell her he'll kill me.
Yeah.
And the child psychiatrist is automatically well, let's just lock him the fuck up.
Yeah.
This kid's cray.
Yeah, so the mom is home with Chucky. And, like, they didn't even let the kid, like, you're gonna lock up the kid, but not even, like, let him keep his, like, prized possession, which is this. I mean, this is for the best, but, you know. And also, it was, like, such a quick sequence that it was hard to even register that they were just gonna lock up this kid.
Well, I assume, once again, probably that was the scenes. There had to have been scenes they cut in that sequence.
Yeah. No.
Especially if, once again, part of the half hour was trying to making it more ambiguous as to whether or not Andy was crazy or whether Chucky was doing it.
Right.
So there was probably a sequence or something that was cut out of there.
Yeah, yeah. So the mom is home with Chucky, and he's like, she's interrogating Chucky. And, say something, you bastard! Hi, I like to be hugged. And then I kept writing about, like, Mom is the MVP of this fucking film. She reads the back, and the batteries fall out, and they're, like, still, like, wrapped up.
Yeah.
So they were never actually in the doll in the beginning. So that's fucked up. And then she's, hi, I'm Chucky, wanna play? And he's under the couch? Is that where he is?
Yeah. I was actually thinking to myself, that actually would have been, if they had kept the ambiguity. I mean, now it wouldn't be anything, because we all know who Chucky is. Now he's like an iconic horror villain, but seeing that for the first time, that would actually be if they had been more into the ambiguity, that would actually be a really cool reveal.
Yeah.
Like, finding out, like, this whole, like, 45 minutes where you've thought, oh my god, this kid is just crazy, and then there's no batteries in the doll.
Do you think that if they had all of that most people would assume that it was the kid?
Yeah.
Or would it depend on how the trailer was cut?
Yeah, it would definitely depend on the trailer.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't watched the original trailer, because most 80s trailers are awful, actually. I'm sorry. There's so many movies that I love that I went back and watched the trailer, and I'm like, I wouldn't have watched this if I saw this fucking trailer.
That's funny.
Excuse me.
You're a burp monster today. It's great.
Yeah.
And your burp monster. Your batteries included.
Yeah, I don't. They're not. I'm just going to be vulgar like Chucky is when he...
No, it was... Oh, God. I was just about to skip, like, the greatest fucking thing, right? With the, she touches him, like, are you alive? And I wrote, why isn't she fucking torch this thing? And then I saw this video with Emma Roberts like an hour before I watched this movie, and it was some like late night talk show thing, and they were like, so we heard that you collect dolls, and she was like, who told you that? But she was just like, yes, I collect dolls, I have tons of them, and the creepier the better. And I was just like, God, that's such a surprising thing for me to hear from Emma Roberts. Now I just want her to be in like one of these movies so bad.
Yeah,
it would be great. She shakes him and she's like, talk to me. She's gonna make him talk, so she puts him in the fireplace. Talk to me, I'm gonna throw you. Oh, no, talk to me or I'm gonna throw you in the fire. You stupid bitch, you filthy slut. I'll teach you to fuck with me.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, yeah, I love this movie.
Yeah, and then he bites her.
Yeah.
I just keep thinking of Jessica, like, fucking, doing that voice, though, what her voice must have sounded like.
You filthy bitch.
Yeah.
You dirty slut.
Yeah, because we have I'm just imagining her, as I said, like, the voice that we know her from Archer and Arrested Development, just this, Chucky is just this very vulgar upper middle class lady.
Oh, yeah. Always with a mimosa in hand.
Yes.
Fucking brilliant. The mom says to the detective that Chucky's alive. He has been for days without any batteries in him. I threatened to throw him in the fireplace. And what is all of a sudden?
He's alive. He killed Eddie Caputo. Because now she just looks insane.
Yeah, no, they're just like, okay, this kid has to stay locked up.
Yeah, we kind of skipped over the fact that Chucky, after biting her, like, escapes.
Yes. Chucky bit me. Charlie bit me. Ouch, Chucky. Maybe, yes. So she's going to find Chucky, find the peddler. Don't go there this time of night. I'm just surprised they're not detaining her in the first place. So he can't stop working? Why did I write that? She asked around the homeless community.
Yeah.
She asked about Chucky. She finds the guy that sold her the doll. And what's the question that she asked her? Asked him if
he remembers the doll, and he wants money to tell. Well, he says what are you going to give me for?
What do you give me if I tell you?
Yeah.
She goes through the wallet. It's not enough.
And then he tries to rape her.
Basically. Oh, I wrote rape.
Yeah.
I was like, well, did this really happen?
Yeah, he tries to rape her, but then Detective Norris shows up and beats up the homeless guy.
Yes.
And
clearly a bunch of the homeless dudes were down for it.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
So I wrote answers the ladies' questions. Burned out toy store on Wabash.
Yeah, he says that he got it from the burned out toy store,
yeah.
which the detective remembers blew up because of
some weird freak accident.
Yeah.
Yes. So we go back to Charles Lee Ray and like the Lakeshore Strangler, kind of like re-establishing that this is how it all started.
Also, by the way, very interesting. Not only is Chucky a serial killer who has an accomplice, but he also has a girlfriend who also kills people. If you think about the full Child's Play like canon, it's like this is very atypical for a serial killer to be. You know, I mean, like it sounds more like he was like a Bonnie and Clyde mass murderer type that they just didn't know is not a serial killer.
Yeah. I was just thinking about it too, because it's like, when I saw Bride of Chucky, it was so long ago that now it makes sense. Like that movie does make sense now.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, because it's like, it appears that they just labeled him a serial killer without knowing what a serial killer does, because he's more a spree killer, actually.
He's more a spree killer?
Yeah.
He's more of a toy store mass murderer? Huh?
No, that means that he kills toy stores. If he's a toy store mass murderer. Many toy stores died because of Charles Lee Ray. I don't know why I'm narrating it in that manner, but it's like, it's the Ed Burns fucking documentary on Charles Lee Ray. Mm-hmm. I'm Ernest Borgnine, and I'm going to tell you about Charles Lee Ray.
You're doing a great job.
Yeah, I always am. So,
I have to pee, but I'll wait.
Yeah, well, you know what? We should take a break anyway, because we need a word from our sponsor.
A word from our sponsor.
Yes.
Who is Charles Lee Ray.
Yes.
From the Beyond.
Yes, exactly. So, we'll be right back in 2 and 2.
Hail to the Queen, baby.
And we're back.
We are back. I have a wardrobe change because I'm a klutz and spill things.
Yes.
Yes.
It was, I'm not going to say it.
It was nothing inappropriate. Jesus fucking Christ. So thank you to our sponsor.
A lot of soy sauce.
I hate you. I fucking hate you.
Anyway.
I'm done.
So, at this point of the film...
We're talking about Child's Play.
Yes. At this point of the film, basically the detective tries to drive away. He has the folder with Charles Lee Ray's info. And, Chucky, he tries to stab him in the balls and the kidney and all those good places you don't want to get stabbed in.
Yeah.
And,
That's the end of the movie.
Yep. The end. He gets stabbed in the car. The movie ends. Good night, everyone. But yeah, Chucky tries to first tries to strangle him with a hose.
Okay. Yep. Oh wait, is this in the car?
Yes, in the car.
Oh no, those are jumper cables.
Oh, I drive. I don't know what those things.
Those are jumper
They look
cables.
like a hose to me.
Those are jumper
I guess
cables.
that's for siphoning gasoline.
No, those are for jumping a car, like jump starting a car if you need to.
Like
if your battery
you're gonna
dies.
brawl it, like you're gonna fight it, and like I'm gonna jump you after school.
And jumper cables.
You're just going to start beating up the car?
Jumper cables are for when you need to jumpstart your car if you lose, like, gas or, no, for a battery.
Yeah.
On, like, the highway or something, which happened to me recently.
Yeah, Chelsea doesn't want to say it's because when you have a rumble with the car, and the car's talking shit, and you got to jump it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
So
Peanut's like, get me the fuck off this crazy man's lap.
So, see, he burns Chucky with the cigarette lighter on the car, which cars do not have anymore, I believe.
Mine has one.
Really?
I have an old car.
Ah.
Yes.
And, so then Chucky starts trying to stab through the seat, which I was just thinking, I don't know much about cars, but I'm pretty sure a doll that size would not fit under the seat of the car.
Probably not.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, like, that's the only, like, I mean, we're talking about, this brings me back, side story, this brings me back to when we covered Hercules. And we were talking, Hercules! And we were talking about how, well, this is, like, this one little, very small, minute thing that couldn't happen. And then we're like, wait, Zeus was a whore.
Yeah.
And he's, like, portrayed as this, like, amazing father figure in this.
Yeah.
And then the fact that it's an animated show about gods. Like, so I think that that's really not that important in the grand scheme of this, like, living doll that has been possessed by this by Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah, well, let's never take away the accomplishments of Academy Award nominated actor Brad Dourif.
Yes, thank you, Brad, for your service.
Yes. In truth, I would love to work with Brad Dourif, and
how's he doing?
He's older now, but his daughter.
Did he get older?
I mean, his daughter is not only in the Chucky series, but his daughter was what's her face in Dirk Gently. Yeah, that's his daughter.
Nepotism's awesome.
Well, let's not do the nepo bit. I hate that fucking shit. I hate that.
Yeah, people
so
who say
much.
that when they have famous parents.
Yeah, I hate it because I went my whole life fighting against having fucking,
true. It's true. You're the exception.
But
she's an amazing actress.
Yeah, no, that she
we love you.
She's fucking Fiona Dourif is amazing, and I would kill to cast Fiona Dourif in her stuff.
Yeah, no, I would too.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's very self-aware though.
But yeah, so the car flips over because Chucky is now pushing on the gas,
and it's not a frame flip like in Carrie.
Yeah. Oh no, that was awful. That was such a bad. Yeah. See, I'm just. You know what? I'm gonna just demonstrate for you right now. Let's just. Okay.
But you flip it around.
Yes, I'm exact. No, I'm actually going to flip the video so people can see what I'm talking about.
Oh wait, let's do it again.
Yeah, here we go. Okay, there you go. See, now that's the. For those of you who have not seen the original Carrie, that is the effect they use. And yeah. So anyway,
Peanut, you doing okay? I know that was traumatic.
So he fires at Chucky, who says, "It won't do you any good. You can't hurt me." Chucky now has the kitchen knife.
Oh, wait. No, I missed it. So there's, like, not the frame flip thing, right? But, like, the close-up or whatever happened and how the car landed was not the same place the car was in when they went back to the wide. Like, significantly enough where I was like, are you kidding me? Very angry about it.
Yeah. They probably, a lot of that stuff I would assume they might just shoot. Because some of the, and I'm sure probably for you, I don't know how many things you've done with, like, really intense stunts.
Some.
Yeah, because a lot of the things I've been on, they do the stunt, like, after. They would shoot, like, him on the car upside down.
Yeah.
And then they would shoot the stunt with the stunt man.
Right.
So I assume that's probably what happened here and why it doesn't match.
Well, it was just it was the wide shot of the car's exterior.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like, come on, bros.
Yeah.
Like, all they had to do was literally, like, snip out the first second and a half, and then the car would be, like, in the exact same place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe, like I said, maybe it's all just part of the producer not having the fucking final cut on this.
Yeah.
So,
shame.
That's the thing that happens. But so, he also had told Karen where Chucky lives, where Charles Lee Ray used to live, and goes to his house, which is filled with, like, shit that looks like sex fucking ritual paintings on the wall. And I don't mean like paintings that you hang on the wall. Like the whole wall.
Why are you pointing at my walls? I don't have sex weird things hanging on my walls.
No, but you have paintings.
Yes, I do.
So, but you don't have like the whole wall painted like Charles Lee Ray does.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And in fact, there's the picture of him with, there's another character named John Bishop. And, I mean, at first I just thought it was like him bowing to the Loa or something like that.
I have an ex who, like, who was named as Dick Bishop.
Anyway. So, and written on the walls in blood at the house with Dick Bishop is, "Thank you, mighty Dembala, for life after death." And so Detective Norris comes in, and he calls her name. She jumps, and after I talked to you last night and pulled Ray's file, he tried to kill me. His nickname was Chucky. Yeah, and he spent a lot of time with the man John Bishop. Find him before Chucky does.
Before Chucky dolls.
Yes.
Yes.
And, so Chucky immediately is like, I thought Chucky is already with John Bishop. And he's like, I thought you were pulling my chain, but now I didn't think anything could hurt me, but it hurt. I even bled. And he explains that you're turning human.
Yeah, the more time you spend in that body, the more human you become.
Yeah, so he wants to get rid of the doll body.
Spend more time in this body, no fucking way.
Yeah. And he's like, I can't do that. He goes, I want out of this body. It's like, I can't do that, Chucky, because you're an abomination. You perverted everything I taught you and used it for evil. Which, you taught the man to switch fucking bodies?
Yeah.
What exactly did you think he was going to use that for?
I mean, especially, like, knowing who he was, because you have to assume that he knew him.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Because apparently everyone Charles Lee Ray knows is part of his weird circle of murder, so it's like, you're the one asshole who didn't know that this guy does
also,
this shit.
just, like, having these friends who just, like, are like, I support you.
Yeah. I happen to know just how to switch bodies. Do you want to do it? I'll show you.
I'll show you. I want a friend like that.
Oh, man. I would, if I could switch bodies, I would be just the worst person ever. Because I would just start switching bodies with people, and I would like use it to commit crimes, and then switch again.
I feel like you just like in our lifetime, maybe that could happen, and you just ruined all chances of like you actually successfully being able to do that.
Well, you never know.
You never know.
If I'm getting out of this body, I can threaten then somebody. And
that's true.
Yeah, exactly.
True. Peanut, how do you feel about this? She has nothing to say.
So anyway, I also love, you shouldn't tell your customers where you hide stuff like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the voodoo doll that he uses to break his legs. And
that was fucked up, especially as someone who's had the same leg broken so many times.
Yeah.
So fucked up. But I thought that too. I was like, don't tell people that.
Yeah.
Don't tell people that.
And so he explains that he has to transfer his soul to the first human being you revealed your true self to. Which, good thing it was a fucking 6-year-old and not just like a random person outside the store or something like that. Yeah, and he didn't know.
At least he knows. See, I just was like, of course it's a fucking kid. Like,
yeah.
But you're right. It could be worse.
Yeah. And
we're talking about from the killer's perspective.
Yeah. So he starts laughing. He goes, I'm going to be 6 years old again. He goes, I've got a date with a 6-year-old boy, and you have a date with death.
He stabs him in the heart, and he dies.
Yep. No, he stabs the voodoo doll in the heart.
Yes, the voodoo doll.
Yeah.
Well, now it's just kind of like, what if that voodoo doll was alive, Chucky? Like, what if that doll was alive, Chucky? Would you feel bad killing your own kind?
I don't think Chucky... I'm not going to spoil anything, but in the series, he kills quite a few living dolls in the series.
How do you feel about that, Peanut? She has nothing to commentate whatsoever.
She just wants food.
She just
wants food and to be held.
And loved ones.
Yes.
So then I wrote chicken.
Yeah. So he explains that Chucky's heart is still human. And it's the only way. You have to kill it. You have to stab him through the heart. So we see Andy is in his state hospital. Chucky's running in. There's some very obvious ADR as he calls for the doctor, saying Chucky's trying to kill me. Because his mouth is not even moving and he's like yelling.
Dr. Ardmore.
Is that was the guy's name? I didn't even...
Dr. Ardmore. I don't know why I caught that of all things.
Yeah. I was also weird that Andy is in his regular clothes and not like any sort of like hospital pajamas or anything.
They never put him in hospital clothes.
Yeah.
Oh, also, wait. Going back to like the Detective Sarandon and Karen. that, you know, like I said, it was so quick to just, like, you could miss the fact that they were going to lock the kid up in the first place.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait, and I had made the note, where's the kid?
Yeah.
And then the detective was like, we're going to find your son.
Mm.
Where, like, she was there when so, like, the detective doesn't even know where the kid is.
Yeah.
Based on that statement.
Yeah.
Like, that's just a huge continuity error. Just so bad. And it's just, you know, I don't know. I was like, I'm pretty sure that laws weren't that different in the 80s.
Yeah.
Where, like, the mother won't be able to know and the detective on the case doesn't know. Killing it.
Yeah. So the doctor tries to stop Andy while Chucky's running around outside. And so, crazy thing, Chucky is big enough to run out the window of the room he's in. And I'm like, wait a minute, why couldn't Andy just escape through that window too if it has no bars or gate or anything like that on it? You know?
Yeah.
Like you would think a mental hospital, which by the way is called Bellevue, which...
Irony.
I was just like, so Chicago has a Bellevue as well? Because New York City has a very famous hospital called Bellevue.
Yes.
Which has like the mental health ward is where they would stick people for evaluation.
They cured me of a kidney infection once, though.
Did they? Yeah.
I did. I had a UTI sub. I lived like 7 blocks south, and it was the closest emergency room when I lived there. My UTI got so bad that it became a kidney infection, and they fixed it in like a day.
Oh, geez.
It was the scariest emergency room I think I've been in a long time.
Yeah.
But yay, Bellevue.
Yeah. So at this point, Andy is in what looks like an operating room. He grabs a scalpel, he falls into the corner, and then the doctor grabs the scalpel from Andy. The doctor is so rough with Andy, too.
Well, maybe this also has to do with the fact that they cut out the fact that maybe he's the... The doctors could still, depending upon the scenes that were cut out, think that he's the one who fucking did all this shit.
Yeah, entirely possible, yeah.
Oh, stinky breath. Okay, yep,
Yeah.
continue. Not Charles. If you're
And
just listening
so,
to this.
yeah.
My dog.
Yeah. But yeah, so Chucky just takes like the defibrillator. Whoa.
She just sneezed
I
at
know.
your breath.
Not at my breath. So, anyway.
Continue.
So Chucky takes like the defibrillator. Oh, look at her in the background.
Okay.
I'm not getting like fucking.
I'm not putting you back on my body right now. Give me a minute.
So Chucky fries the doctor with like the defibrillator, which I'm pretty sure isn't how those work. But
no, you can kill people with those.
Yeah, but not to the point where he's going to just burst into flames. And,
not that.
Like that's why I said it's not how that works. You could definitely kill someone with one.
Yeah.
It's one of the things, and it's a fact that a lot of people don't know. When doctors say clear, they are talking to the other medical personnel.
Yes.
Yeah, like a lot of people don't know that. They just think it's like a word that they say when they pump your chest or whatever. But no, it's there because the body electrical current runs through it. And if you're touching the body when they do that, you're going to get a shock.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I guess you'll go on fire according to this movie. So, anyway...
Spontaneous combustion.
Well, then it wouldn't be spontaneous because it's done through the defibrillator.
You know what, Charles? I just wanted to talk about spontaneous combustion.
Yes. So Andy goes home. He locks the door. He grabs carpet furniture, barricades the door.
Again, just randomly allowed to leave places.
Yeah. The neighbors see the doll in the elevator. I was like, that has to be a cameo of someone who knows someone because it's one of those roles that just seem like you would give it to like, that's my mom or something like that.
Yeah,
like
what
the
role are you
director's
talking
mom
about?
or something.
Yeah, which who are you talking about?
When the elderly couple see Chucky in the elevator.
Oh, yeah.
That felt like, just from a filmmaker perspective, that felt like that's somebody's like parents or like the teacher of the director or something like that.
Yeah,
he's
the
just
one who
like,
inspired him.
Yeah. You know, like, because that's totally a cameo role. You
Yeah.
just give someone that, like, you know.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I love the old lady saying, "What an ugly doll," and Chucky's like, "Fuck you." So Chucky gets off the elevator.
Also, wait, no, I had notes about that too. Is
Okay.
because like this is the most famous doll of the time. Even
Yeah.
if these are like elderly people,
Yeah.
they're watching QVC.
Yeah.
Like they're watching shit all the time. Like the good guy dolls they know what that doll looks
But
like.
if you remember, Chucky's face has been changing and becoming more human as the film goes
but
on.
still, I mean, like,
Yeah.
are you okay?
You know what?
Just
Back
saying.
back in the 80s, people used to say that about Cabbage Patch dolls too, about how ugly they were too.
I love my Cabbage Patch. I have a Cabbage Patch doll in the store.
I very often heard parents saying shit like that about Cabbage Patch dolls.
You want to go see Uncle Charles? Go ahead. No? Oh,
Okay.
she's like, fuck you.
She's like, he made fun of me. So, Chucky hits Andy with a bat.
Oh yeah, but it's also like a little toy like police baton like that you get in those police kits from like Halloween Adventure.
Yeah.
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 It's like a child, and I'm like, where did he get that?
So Andy is knocked out. Chucky begins to do the spell. We see clouds forming through the skylight because every building in Chicago...
Oh, I wrote that I think it's Sanskrit that he speaks. Anyway, continue.
I always just thought it was a made-up language for, like, the movie. It does not seem... Come on, I don't think Child's Play went to the point of, like, researching...
So, I mean, like, I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know. I just was like, out of everything that I know, that sounds the most like it, but I didn't know any of the words.
I really think... I will look it up, but I really think that was just a made-up language for the movie. Excuse me.
There's lightning again!
Yep. And Karen and the detective try to get in. Andy's barricaded the door, but they get in anyway.
And this is the different toy store.
No, this is the apartment they're trying to get in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And she grabs a Chucky who bites her. The detective throws Chucky who stabs his ankle.
Which is also terrifying. I mean, like, no, I wrote, like, a lot of this reminded me of Pet Sematary.
Yeah.
You know, with the cutting of the Achilles.
With, like, Gage. And,
with, yeah, a lot of it was very much that.
Yeah. So he gives her his sidearm.
Her sidearm?
Yeah, I mean, sorry. He gives her his sidearm.
What is a sidearm?
It's the gun.
Oh!
The gun that he has, like, on, you know, that's not his primary gun.
Oh! I've never heard that phrase.
Yeah, that's what it's called by police, is a sidearm.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Andy starts to wake up as the detective looks for Chucky. He's looking under the bed. Chucky hits him with the bat. Karen shoots him in the leg. The gun is jammed. She trips.
Oh, that makes sense because I wrote that's a different guns. I said research your guns.
Yeah, that's the sidearm.
No, but there was only 2 guns that would have been like sanctioned for them to like actually carry, and that was not one of them.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'm letting it go.
So she throws Chucky into the fireplace. Andy's kind of just watching while Chucky's on fire, and there's somehow the rest of the apartment is fireproof.
Yes.
Because when Chucky's running through it, I would assume that would set most of the fucking room on fire. Because he's running around, and like the couch is somehow flame resistant, I wrote, as is their carpet.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chucky appears to burn to death on the floor. I do love how fucked up he looks when he's all burned and
it's
kind of
cute.
skeletal with the one eye.
With the
like
one eye.
Yeah. And
I
then
wonder how much that cost.
that was probably most of the budget.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that was all like, you know, like they had puppeteers and all that sort of stuff for that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, I don't even know what Detective Norris, who was no help, asks if they're all right.
Oh yeah, no, he's literally like really bad at his job.
Yeah. Andy goes to get something to handle the detective, who comically passes out. He gets first aid kit, but sees Chucky is gone.
Chucky's gone.
Yeah, and now burn Chucky with a knife. Chucky is now somehow
Oh, no, I love too, like, before that the 6-year-old is somehow the one responsible for fetching the first aid kit.
Yeah.
Like, what?
There's also a weird continuity error with the double they got for Chucky here, because Chucky is vastly larger than Andy here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very clearly not the same double they had before.
Burnt Chucky, hello lady, is that...
Chucky comes into the closet, she's shooting, so they're...
they have Raimi Cam shots in here too a lot.
It wasn't so much Raimi Cam as just point of view.
I know, but that's just like, that's what I've referred to it now as, is like...
Yeah, because the Raimi Cam stuff is more uneasy and a lot of...
See, I felt like this made me want to vomit. Raimi Cam doesn't.
Yeah. You know, when you play the Evil Dead video game, and you play as any of the demons, it has Raimi Cam, and that actually makes me nauseous.
I think you said that. Did you post that somewhere?
I posted that, yeah. Because I played it, and I was like, oh, let me play this.
What are you eating, kids? What could you possibly be eating? Blood. Okay, continue.
So she shoots off one of Chucky's legs and one of his arms.
As you do to a dog.
Yeah, and she shoots off his head, but his body is still coming.
That's what she said.
Well, there you go. She's pretty good at it.
Pretty good at it.
Shoots it twice and keeps pressing the trigger after the gun's empty. And now John, the sleazy-ass partner, comes in.
Is that Porn Snatch?
Yeah.
Yeah. I hate him so much.
Yeah. And he looks at the melting...
I said he came in from the strip club.
Possibly. He comes in at the where he was probably kicked out of for trying to touch the girls, looking at how sleazy this motherfucker looks.
Yep.
He pokes it. He comes in the room with the head. John says, "No way is this thing alive." And Chucky's body tries to kill him.
Yes.
Body keeps getting up. And I love Chucky's head is encouraging the body to kill them all, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Chucky's body dies giving the finger.
As you do.
Yeah.
I hope I go out that way.
Well, I go out that way all the time. So I'm...
Morbid!
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play? And play. So you believe me now, but who's going to believe me? There's sirens. Andy is alone in the room with Chucky. We see the body. Karen says to come alone. They'll go to the hospital with Mike. Andy won't take his eyes off Chucky, and it's freeze frame.
Yep.
So, interestingly enough, they wanted to... The original part 2 opened with no one actually believing the detective or Karen.
Oh.
So Chucky is put in... Andy is put into foster care because the detective loses his job and Karen is put in a mental hospital.
That's morbid as shit.
Yeah, that's what part 2 happens. Part 2 is Andy's in a foster home. And Chucky gets into but there's also apparently, and here's the weird thing, apparently there was bad publicity for the good guy dolls because of this. But I'm like, if no one believes that the good guy doll killed anyone, why would they have bad publicity?
Because it's associated with a woman being bad to her child.
Yeah, I guess. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's a trope for the whole mental health awareness thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because apparently they stopped making the good guy dolls, but then when the new CEO comes in and wants to restart it, Chucky apparently finds himself in the first doll. Because I think the factory gets hit by lightning or something like it.
Oh, really? More lightning?
Yeah.
Is there a skylight involved?
I don't remember. I remember I saw that one, but I don't remember if that had a skylight. But and then that introduces his half sister, his foster sister Kyle, who was also brought back in the Chucky series.
I've talked about this with you before, but I love boys' names for girls, Kyle, Drew, Dylan. God, those are the best. So cool. Oh my God, now I'm excited.
Yeah, so that is Child's Play. I feel like I would love to just go over the Child's Play series with you, so we can just watch them all, because I'm a big Child's Play fan. I as I said, I would have not been happy with people giving me the fucking Chucky nickname if I hadn't.
No, you would have literally
I was a violent fucking kid. I would have hurt somebody if I didn't like the nickname. So, I loved it. I used to wear it, all the time, and every now and then would even say my name is Chucky, want to play, and
hidey-ho.
I never said hidey-ho.
I didn't even... So I realized that I think that maybe I saw this movie, or parts of it, a very long time ago, but it was rewatching it, and it was seeing it for the first time, which was really cool. Mm-hmm. Especially having seen a shit ton of the other ones. Yeah. And appreciating them all.
Well, you said did you see all of them, or did you just start with Bride of Chucky?
Start with Bride.
But you saw the ones after Bride of Chucky?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you see Cult of... No, you did, because I remember we talked about it when it was on Netflix. Mm-hmm, okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's it was starting with the reboots of Star Wars.
Oh, then I wonder, it might not have made any sense then at the end, because when Andy shows up as an adult at the end of...
I just was no, I think it was my mother being he's from the original. It was the kid from the original. I was
okay.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. Thanks, Mom.
Yeah. What's actually funny in the second season of I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to spoil it. I'll just say it's one of the things I'm anxious to watch with you, because it's such a cool premise, what the first season is leading up to.
Cool.
Yeah. So anyway, that was the first Child's Play. Let me go over my little factoids here.
He's got some factoids.
Factoids!
He's okay, Peanut. He's okay.
Oh, was she worried about that? I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, she's fine. I'm just being a bitch.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, it would have been a doll filled with... Oh, yeah, so... Apparently, it would have been a doll filled with fake blood that would allow it to bleed if played with roughly. It would have come alive after Andy mixed in his own blood with the dolls, which, once again...
What are you talking about?
The original script. Remember I said how there was blood involved? Because the original title was Blood Buddy.
Okay.
Yeah. Which actually would have been a better title for the remake, actually, if we're being honest about it. But yeah, apparently the rewrites were done by a guy named Lafia, who wanted to direct the film after being hired for rewrites, was turned down because he had never directed a feature-length motion picture at the same time.
Huh.
And the studio sought an experienced director for the project. They spoke to William Friedkin, who did The Exorcist, Irving Kershner, Robert Weiss, Robert Rubin, Howard Franklin, and Rocky Morton. Annabelle Jankin were all approached to direct, but they eventually went with Holland because he had directed an episode of Steven Spielberg's Amazing Stories.
Oh.
The original person they wanted for Charles Lee Ray was not Oscar-nominated actor Brad Dourif, but I think Oscar winner John Lithgow.
Johnny boy.
Yeah.
My boy.
Basically, Holland had worked with Brad Dourif before in Fatal Beauty, so he was only supposed to be Charles Lee Ray, and then Jessica, Walter, was supposed to be the voice.
Good for her.
Yeah. She was Walter, basically on the basis that Mercedes McCambridge had voiced Pazuzu in the Exorcist, so they thought, let's make it kind of a creepy...
Cool.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah. Principal photography began on January 7th and went through March 5th.
Was this 88 still?
Yeah, 88.
Wow, same year. Good for you guys.
Yeah, budget of 9 to 13 million.
Cool.
And Mancini never entered the set. I already talked about that. And it was filmed on location in Chicago.
So they actually shot on this house.
Yeah, they actually shot, and the original ending in the script was Chucky is stabbed by Andy with a knife mounted on a radio-controlled car, as his face and legs melted with a squirt gun filled with Drano.
Drano is dangerous.
Yeah. Chucky would have been seemingly killed and overpowered by Jack and several police officers. While storing Chucky's remains in the evidence room, another cop would have disbelieved Jack's assertion the doll was alive, and after they left, Chucky's disembodied arm would have come to life to swat a fly. And that was the original ending.
I can get behind that.
And during the initial release, a large crowd of protesters formed at the main entrance of MGM, calling for a ban on the film because they claimed it would incite violence in children.
For fuck's sake.
And the producer, David Kirshner, was watching the demonstration on TV and was disturbed. Jeffrey Hilton, who had been working in Kirshner's office at MGM, indicated he could quell the disturbance in 10 minutes.
Did that work?
While Kirshner was watching from the safety of his office, Hilton spoke to the group's leader and shook his hand. The group instantly dispersed. No one knows what he said, and he's never even revealed it to the producer.
And the group didn't say anything.
Yeah, the group didn't say anything, but he said something, and they all just were like, all right, let's go home. So,
damn.
Yeah, I don't know if it could have been like, hey, you guys leave, I'll give you money, or I will have every one of you killed. Like,
and of course, it's pre-cell phones.
Yeah, so no one knows what he actually said.
Damn.
So, so that was Child's Play. As I said, did you enjoy this film, Chelsea?
I did enjoy it. I did. I mean, it's good to know, like, the origin story of, like, what do you want? It's good to know the origin story of, like, of how it all began. You know, it filled in some, like, answers. It gave me answers to some questions that I had from obviously starting further along. But I mean, what was her name? Catherine Hicks?
Yeah.
MVP.
Yeah.
For sure. You fucking killed it, bitch. You killed it.
Yeah, like I said, they originally wanted them to have a bigger role in the sequel, but their schedules didn't work. So.
Well, because they did such a great job, she got hired for bigger budget things.
Yeah, so.
I assume.
But yeah, so we will be back next week with the remake starring Aubrey Plaza and Mark Hamill. And also, you should start looking out for the 21st Century Demon Hunter Director's Cut. You saw the trailer for it. Yay! So, that should be out very soon. I'm just waiting on an exact date.
It should be very, very soon.
Yeah.
Give it weeks.
It's a 2-disc collection.
I can't believe we're at 2. That just made my nipples hard.
Yeah, a 2-disc collection. of the first season of 21st Century Demon Hunter. You've got commentary in every episode. Sometimes it's me, sometimes it's the two of us. You've got we have a totally new episode and
A new episode.
and new edits for every episode.
Yes.
So every single episode has been hand edited by me to be
Because
like
he's a madman.
Yes, exactly.
And because
So-
it's, we just want you to
Yeah.
keep staying with us. We love you all so much.
Exactly. So you get to see where it all started between us, and
That's
yeah.
what she said.
Yes. Well, that sounds very nostalgic from her, actually. And
It
not,
does.
Not
She's a good person.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not like a sexual thing. That sounds very much
No,
like
she's just a
that's
kind
where
soul.
we all started. And Holdy's showing her kids her like high school graduation picture or something with her husband.
But really, it's in a cult.
Yeah, there you go. A cult of Chucky.
Yeah.
So anyway, people, we want to thank you for watching us, Chelsea. I almost said Chucky.
I was going to call you Chucky. You fucking ruined
Yeah,
it.
Chelsea.
You fucking ruined it.
Chelsea, where can people find you?
You can find me at... I was going to say Chucky D. Link. You can find me at Chelsea.LeSage on Instagram. And Charles, where can they find you?
At Chuck E. Cheese. And, you,
Fucking love Chuck E. Cheese, okay?
you love that sticky floor. So you can find me at...
Maybe that's where my last outfit is.
Isn't it always sticky, though, the floor at Chuck E. Cheese?
Absolutely.
Exactly, yeah. So you can find me at charles.d.lincoln at Instagram.
At Instagram. And you can find us
Together.
at CL Squared Productions on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And thank you again to everyone who contributed to Bishop's Cove.
Yes.
We can't wait to bring you this movie. Keep your eyes open for the director's cut of 21st Century Demon Hunter.
Yes.
And we'll be back with Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah. So we'll see you next time.
Mwah.
Bye, people.
Bye.